Yo, what's up, YouTube? I'm very happy to present to you a very special character of mine, favorite character of mine. That's Misato Katsuragi, Neon Genesis Evangelion with Pin, a custom action figure based off of Marvel Legends action figures. So I made all of this, other than Pin, but we'll get to that, based off of Marvel Legends figures, and I will cover where all these pieces came from, how I did it, so that way maybe you can make your own. I think it would be really awesome to see what you guys do with all this information and see if you can make a Misato just like this, maybe even make her better. And heck, share with me if you guys take my videos and then make your own customs. I want to see what your customs look like. Make sure you hit me on Twitter at Ninja Chortle and shoot me a picture of what your customs look like, especially if you're using my videos as advice to how to get this stuff done. I know it's not easy. I know it's not necessarily cheap, but it's a hobby. Hobbies aren't cheap, but we'll get to that, how we made this possible. But we're actually going to cover, instead of starting with Misato, we're going to start with Pin because Pin is really cool and really special. I was so geeked on getting Pin done. So let's cover him first. Pin over here, this guy right here, is so cool. So what this Pin is made of is, I mean, it's a penguin. But it's basically just a generic penguin that I got at Hobby Lobby. So I don't remember how much it cost, maybe like $3-4, something like that. They have a little plastic plastic animal area, usually towards the back, and it just had penguins. There's another upcoming character that I'm making that I bought an animal or creature from the same area that will work very well. Hopefully, I haven't started it yet, but she will be coming soon, if everything goes according to plan. But also came from Hobby Lobby. But we'll worry about that one later. But yeah, just a generic penguin, and we got some custom sculpt going on for the backpack. So that's just epoxy sculpt, and it's painted a steel color. I did remove all of the paint, or this as much as I could, from the penguin possible, and repainted it. So this is my black paint and also my white paint on there. The paint for the feet is a dark tan color. That's what I went with. I think it came out really nicely. As far as the pin 2 on his collar, or whatever you want to call that, that was, and it still is, engraved. Like you can see on the like little buttons parts, that's just engraved. Like I just took the a knife and just cut into the epoxy sculpt while it was still soft. And I did the same thing with the pin 2, but after everything dried and I went with the Dremel to sand it down because it was just a little too thick. So when I sanded it down too much, and then the engraved part of pin 2 started to come off. In fact, the P part was almost gone. So after painting it with the steel color, you couldn't really see it say pin 2. So I just went back with some black and just wrote pin 2 all over the engraving. So it looks fine. I would have liked it the other way too, but I think overall, I mean, in the anime, it is black lettering. It's just really thin. It's a little messier than I would have wanted, but it's fine. The beak is custom sculpted as well, so it did obviously have a beak before when it was just a generic penguin, but I decided it wasn't pin enough, so I just cut it off with some scissors and got some epoxy sculpt and sculpted this beak on there. And then his eyebrow things, whatever you want to call those, that is plastic, so it is a little bendy. It was really a challenge to glue that on. It was not perfect, but it looks good. I cut out a pattern that, you know, just looking at a picture of Pin and cut out a pattern, or drew a pattern I should say, on a piece of paper, cut it out, and then went to my plastic that I make. So specifically the plastic is smooth cast 45D casting resin, that I just have like sheets, not sheets, but a sheet of, or made a sheet of it, and it's very flexible but still sturdy plastic, and just use that pattern and cut that out. Now, a sad story, I said this in a previous video, that plastic, that casting resin, the Smooth Cast 45D, I believe is discontinued. I can't find it anywhere. The only place I saw it available for sale was on eBay in Australia, and they have like one box left, so I think it's discontinued. So there is some other solution, hopefully, when that comes in the mail, and if that works out well, I will share that with you, what I use to substitute for this kind of plastic that I use for molds. Again, I use it in my Proxima Midnight and stuff. But anyway, other than that, it's just repainted penguin. So Pin looks super cool. I am super happy with that. But let's go to Misato now. She's the star of the show. We're going to start at the bottom. We're going to move Pin out the way, and we're going to cover her feet. So specifically, the feet are the same as this figure here, which is a Blink figure. If I can get her to stand up very well. There you go. She is a little bit on a lean, but the feet are the same as this one, and then the little boot piece is the exact same, unchanged, unpainted or whatever, not modified whatsoever. It's just straight up moved it over there onto that. But it is the same green feet that are on this one. I picked these because these feet are smaller than your most Marvel Legends. They're just a little shorter, and I don't know why they put the short feet on a taller character like this, but I would prefer bigger feet on taller characters and smaller feet on shorter characters. So I use, Misato's about 5'4", and this is pretty close in scaling. I'll show you that later. It's not too far off from what she should possibly look like at 5'4". But yeah, smaller feet for smaller characters, so that's what it is. Now the lower legs are not the same as this. It is actually just lower legs from a typical Kate Bishop body mold. Now it wasn't from Kate Bishop, obviously, but these were originally black. So what we're going to do, we're just going to look at this Dazzler here, because we are going to come back to that anyway. So just say that these are the exact same legs, because they are. This is the same mold as far as the lower legs go, but this is black. It actually came from a Shikla. So as far as Shikla goes, this is a Shikla. It's already black, and so I don't have to paint the bottom part or paint the pin down there for the articulation. I just painted the flesh tone going up. And same thing with the knees. The knees are actually from a Dazzler. They actually are this blue color originally in plastic. So there is that, to be transparent. But the knees don't matter. Just use knees. So there's that. And then the rest, we got a little bit of Gwen Stacy going on as well. So can you stand for me, please? All right. So Gwen Stacy, the thighs are the same as Gwen Stacy, just repainted. The skirt is the same as Gwen Stacy, but it is repainted, and I cut the slit here on the front as well as the back. So it is there, but we still have the slit on the side. That is not how Misato's dress looks. I fully know that. Unfortunately, that is how that skirt works. This skirt is not made for this torso at all. It's made for it's made for this torso, which is much smaller. So it's barely on there. And by being barely, it's like stretched out, and I couldn't pull it down all the way anyway, but it worked out. So it is the same skirt, just with that cut there. Now, while we still have Gwen Stacy here, we might as well talk about it. The jacket is Gwen Stacy's jacket, not the jacket from this Dazzler. I was going to use that, but Misato's jacket is just more close in style to this. So what I ended up doing is just cutting it. As you can see, it's a lot shorter. I cut it here, so above the belt, so we don't have to deal with that, and just cut it straight down like that. So it fits and makes a short jacket for Misato. It is painted with the gray on the inside of the collar, red on the inside of the jacket. The orange and black stripes are there. The black whatever the heck that's supposed to be on that jacket. It's all there. And I believe that's it from Gwen Stacy, so we don't need her anymore. But her face is Mary Jane. So of the Mary Jane extra head that comes with that Gwen Stacy, that is this face and the hair. But we'll come back to that in a little bit. The arms are from this Dazzler, just repainted, so it's the exact same ruffled up effect. I went with the arms that are rolled back sleeves as opposed to the full length arms, because I just kind of like that better look for Misato in general. But that is that. So same thing with the forearms, they're the same kind of forearms. The hands though, so they're not from Dazzler. The hands, she has a gun for starters, and two, this is just a relaxed weapon holding hand. So with that being said, these hands are actually from an Agent Carter figure. They're already flesh toned but just repainted. So Agent Carter has a gun trigger hand and then one weapon holding hand that are flesh toned. Off the top of my head, I can't think of any other female character that has flesh tone colored gun trigger hands, flesh tone sculpted gun trigger hands, because the only other characters that have guns are like the Deadly Origin Black Widow, which her hands are cloth, they're like she's wearing gloves or bodysuit, and then like Domino, and she has like fingerless gloves. Other than that, I don't know if anyone else has gun trigger hands that are like actual fingers with fingernails and so on. I don't know if you can see that detail, but sadly Misato does not wear fingernail polish or lipstick for that matter, at least not in the anime. But that is where those hands are from. So I can understand if you don't want to buy a whole Agent Carter just to have those hands, but I happen to have an extra one anyway because I had bought one to make my 02 figure, and those hands are being used for Misato now, so that's great. Alright, so back at it. The torso itself, the lower torso, I mean, is basically the same as this Mary Jane, but it's not from this Mary Jane. Let's move this a little bit more like that. But yeah, it's basically the same. It is the exact same torso. This came from an Netflix Elektra torso, so that's the lower torso there. The upper torso specifically came from this Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman, right? Just remove the paint from the white, and it's just this black, and then repainted the rest of the detail there. But it is that. I mean, it's basically the same as this one as well. But again, the Mary Jane head comes from the Gwen Stacy figure that is got the extra Mary Jane head, and it is the same hair. However, the hair was modified. So first off, I cut off the bangs on the Mary Jane hair. So let's just go ahead and go closer to Misato. So the Mary Jane head, I cut off these bangs, and I cut this hair off right here that's coming down on the side, and I moved it back more, so because I was trying to get, you can't see Mary Jane's ears whatsoever. And again, this is the same face, so this hair fits right back on there, but I cut this piece off and moved it backwards some, so that way you can see her ears. And then I cut this piece off completely, so there is no hair whatsoever on that side, and all the hair just goes right behind her ears. And then as far as Misato's bangs go, I sculpted that with epoxy sculpt. So this is the first time I made bangs like that, especially with epoxy sculpt, and it came out okay. I'm not 100% like happy with it, but I think it's certainly passable for Misato. And I was kind of like in the pressure, like on the spot doing it, because I wanted to use actual plastic pieces from hair and cut bangs out, but then I felt it would probably be best to do it this way. But then when I started it, I had no idea what I was going to do and how it should look and how to game plan it basically, and just kind of winged it while I had the opportunity to do it. And it's okay, it's a little off center, But yeah, next time I make Misato, which there will definitely be another Misato coming, I might try to do with extra scraps of plastic and try to use that to make the hair as opposed to sculpting it, or just try doing a different way with sculpting. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, that's it. The plastic, the color purple is just, again, all this paint is Model Masters acrylic paint. They have a purple, like pearl dark. It's like really dark, so I had to mix white in there to make it lighter. She does have this watch, which is just a piece of plastic, a circle made into a circle. Can you focus? There you go. Just a piece of plastic that I cut into a circle and sanded it into a circle, glued it on, so this is not going anywhere, and then painted the watch strap on. And the gun comes from Deadly Origins Black Widow, so I can have a firing effect on there if I wanted it to. And last but not least, her necklace. Her necklace was custom made, so that is a piece of plastic, Smoothcast 45D. Again, I went over it in previous videos. Not available for purchase anymore, sadly, but it is a piece of plastic that I still had around, just scrap, and just cut out this little plus symbol / cross. And then the strap for it, the necklace, the actual necklace part of it, is a Dunkin' Donuts cup. Again, I did this before on my last figure for Mary Jane. You watched that last video. I also just had been working all this stuff at the same time. It's from Dunkin' Donuts cup. I just cut out a strip of plastic and glued it to the plus symbol there, and I kind of folded it because you can fold it and make sure it goes back behind her shoulder so it's not sticking up. And that's it. It worked out really, really well for this. So it's so funny. Yeah, it does come off. As you can see, it's not attached to her or nothing like that. It is a genuine necklace. So that's super cool and fun. All right, so that's Misato. Let's go ahead and do a quick Evangelion comparison because I have Asuka already. So let's get her out here and see what she looks like. Alright, we've got Misato Katsuragi with Pin, and my custom made Asuka that I did a couple months ago. So we're getting around to that cast of Evangelion, y'all. We're gonna do it. So very, very soon. Okay, well, not that soon, honestly. I got a lot of things planned, but the next character from this series I do plan on making will be Rei Ayanami. So we will continue on with this cast, and I have almost all of her figured out. I mean, it's not going to be that much different from Asuka, but she will be shorter, and she will have a different chest and head and hair, of course, and be all white. I'm going to try to get this part better on Ayanami, now that I know that I made mistakes, and I can attempt to atone for that and make it better. So Ayanami will be coming shortly, but again, I have a lot of the customs I have planned before that, so it might be a little bit before I get to Ayanami. And then as far as everyone else goes, I'm still undecided on Mari, if I'm going to do her, and I will be doing a Ritsuko, so she will be after Ayanami. And then we'll see about Gendo and anyone else. I'm probably not going to do them. I think I'm just going to focus on the main ladies. It's just Mari I'm not 100% sure on. I still haven't seen Thrice Upon a Time, so I mean, I'm in America, so we can't exactly watch it legally. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to make Mari or not. And then I will go through the gamut of their different costumes. So the next Misato that I'm going to make will be her casual at home, sipping Yibisu and, you know, that yellow top with the Daisy Dukes. And then I will do Rei, like I said, Ayanami's coming up. And then Asuka will be in her yellow dress, like her first appearance. And I'm just going to keep going from there. Yeah, I don't know all of the planned ones that I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do them in their schoolgirl outfits as well. I'll probably do their rainbow white suits, and also Asuka in the 2.0 test suit for sure. That one's happening. But again, that'll be over the course of my life. I don't know. I wish I can give you an exact, oh, it'll be done next week or next month or something. No, it's going to take a while. Over time, this will build. And I'm not going to do the boys, like I said, because various reasons. Again, these are Marvel Legends. The Marvel boys are going to be very muscular, big, and so on. And Shinji is basically the same size, maybe a little shorter than Asuka. So using a really buff young male superhero would look really weird. But that's just my opinion. And also, I do focus on the ladies a little bit more anyway. But um, yeah, in the very least, Ritsuko and Ayanami will be joining this crew, and more Misatos and more Asukas are on the way. So let me know what you think of Misato and Pin here. One thing that I am upset about with this is that I ran out of flesh tone paint when I was doing it, and also had some other issues with, I don't know if you can see that little blemish in here. That's just it. As the paint was drying, it stuck to the ground and just messed that up. But in general, the flesh tone paint, although it doesn't look awful, it needs some more coats in some places, especially in here, especially on the arms and stuff. I just ran out. I didn't make enough, and it's a custom color, so once you make it, I can't make more of the exact same tone. It would change it maybe, and I just ran out. I underestimated how much I needed, so it didn't get the full coverage that it really deserves. Other than that, though, I still really like it. I maybe make her flesh tone a little bit lighter, but I was going also for her flesh tone in the anime as opposed to the rebuild, which is a little bit darker, at least in my opinion. Darker tone in the anime versus rebuild. I might do other outfits based, like the variances of this as well. For Misato, I might do a 3.0 outfit as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. Not my favorite look for Misato, but she's still a boss. Yeah, it's my favorite series, so I'll be diving into it quite often. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.